Good morning, good afternoon, whenever it is. It'll probably take me a minute to get this edited and uploaded, and who knows when you'll see it, but good morning. I've made a cup of coffee. If you would like to make a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, just something, and come sit in the garden with me, okay? I wish that you could just come over and we could sit down. I'm out here at my little table. There's so much stuff in bloom all around us. It rained last night, so everything is just like lovely. Birds are chirping. It's like 60 degrees outside, so it's like that perfect temperature where I know it's going to get hot later today, but this morning I can throw on a hoodie, I can have a hot cup of coffee, I can come sit out here and chat with a friend. So good morning. Hello. How are you? We're going to talk about something really, really important today, and it's a problem that I think, unfortunately, is affecting all of us. Regardless of how old you are, what stage of life you're in, what you're going through, how much money you make, how tall you are, right? Like, it doesn't matter. I think this is probably affecting you because it's affecting all of us. This is Heavenly Mind at Home, where faith meets real life prepping. Biblical truth cuts through the chaos, and women rise to live set apart. So subscribe, join the remnant, and let's build a heavenly minded home together. So before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and say hello to our 3 little duckies.
The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. They're all expecting me, and that's one thing I know. My Savior pardoned me, and now I on must go. I know He'll take me through.
I think that this is a problem that we think only is like the kids have it, and they do. So don't think that I'm saying that they don't, because they certainly do, and they probably have it the worst, okay? But I think this is affecting all of us, and I think within the next 10 to 20 years, we are going to see like massive critical implications of this. Brain rot. I heard my kids say this a handful of months ago, and they said it is like a joke. And I think it was my husband, he couldn't remember something or something. Like, it was just something totally unrelated. And our kids jokingly were like, ooh, you got TikTok brain rot? And I was like, what is TikTok brain rot? I don't know what that is. We don't have TikTok. We don't use TikTok. Like, we don't, that's just not what we do. My kids don't even do that, okay? Like, that's genuinely not something any of us do, but they knew the term. And so they said that. I was like, what is TikTok brain rot? And now it's funny because I saw a thing, one of the top trending topics on all of Google right now is the discussion of brain rot. But I found this out when I have a separate channel. It's called Make Femininity Great Again, and it's where I talk about just the beauty of being a woman, right? Homemaking, tending to our health and our habits, and all kinds of fun topics over there. And I shared about our wedding anniversary, like honeymoon that never happened trip that we just took. You guys can watch that over there if you're interested. But I was talking about that, but it made this whole idea of brain rot stand out, because my whole goal for that trip was to rest, reflect, relax. Not something I do normally. I'm a busy person. I don't sit well. My family thought I was crazy when I said that my goal was to just do nothing. And they were like, sure, that's not gonna last. Well, joke's on them, because it did. I relaxed all week long. I read books. I read books multiple times. I was hardly on my phone, right? Like, I did so many things differently. It was absolutely fantastic. That really ties into this topic of brain rot. Why I say this affects all of us, every single one of us. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what season of life you're going through, what your status of anything is. It's probably affecting you. We have become so conditioned to receive stuff so quickly. All of us probably grew up with having access to TV in my house. We didn't have, we never had cable. We had to go to family members' homes if there was something we wanted to watch on cable. But we had movies, we had a VHS player, right? We still watch stuff. Fast forward to today where TVs now literally come with this stuff just built into them, right? Does anybody have a Roku TV? It's just built into it. It just is. You don't even need to have a collection of movies, DVDs, anything like that. It just is. You're on YouTube, right? Obviously, you have access to just lots of little moving pictures right in front of your face. We've seen in, I remember seeing an article years ago when I was looking at, maybe ways I can make better videos or, what are the types of things people want to see. I've never been one of the cool kids who had the cool flashy things and all the stuff. I don't know, I'm not a cool kid, so I never had it. But I remember reading this article that said if you wanted to have better YouTube channels, you had to take a page out of the book of the people who make Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I was like, what? I've never watched, what? I don't understand how that connects. But they were talking about how they figured out with that show that it's something like every 4 seconds, the angle has to change to keep people engaged, to keep people's minds from wandering, right? People's attention spans are getting shorter. You have to keep this focus and this attention and this movement, and you got to have text pop up and you got to change the angle and you got to. And it's crazy because it works. They're not wrong. I thought it was crazy at first because I was like, what is a Kardashian? What? I don't understand what this has to do with YouTube. But then you see it. Mr. Beast, right? All of these things where the angle, the clip, the going, because we have rotted our brains with these phones, with TV, with computers, with these phones. Our brains can't stay focused. When was the last time you picked up a book? Think about that last time. If you can remember, maybe it was so far back, and this is no shade at anyone. I am horrible at reading books. I used to love reading. I used to read all the time. Now, I can't read a book. I will start reading and my mind will just shoo off somewhere else. When I listen to videos on YouTube, I speed them up so they're quicker, because I've noticed that if I'm just listening at regular one volume, I start to my mind starts to wander. I start to look at the videos over on the side, and then I end up clicking and not finishing my original video or whatever the case may be. I've noticed that I do that. And all of these little things, right? So if we say TikTok brain rot, that doesn't just mean that, I don't even know the exact definition of what it is, but all you hear are clips from TikTok things in your head, whatever. But the brain rot, the war on our attention span that you and I are absolutely, I believe, dealing with to some degree, where you have a hard time concentrating. You have a hard time staying focused on this video here because you're already scrolling the videos over on the side. I get comments all the time from people that are like, get to the point faster. You took too long to say this. I'm like, do you want me to just speed run real quick? Here are 5 points of how you need to focus on fixing your attention span. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Have a nice day. I feel like that's what people want. But because our attention spans are so goofed up, we can't come pour a cup of coffee, sit down with a friend, enjoy the garden, listen to the birds, right? We say we want that, but yet when it comes time to actually do it, we're struggling because our brain's already bouncing around. I'm already getting distracted. I'm already scrolling down, reading through the comments, while the person's talking. I'm already looking at the videos on the side. Heck, maybe you've sped me up and I'm going in 2 times speed, which I don't blame you. That's how I listen to videos. We need to change this. Do we not think that this is just not going to have some sort of major implication? Look already to the rise of things like Alzheimer's and dementia. And I think there's a lot of reasons why that's happening. Do you think this is helping? Because I don't. And I'm concerned. I'm just going on 40 and seeing how goofed up my attention span is, how much I struggle to read a full book, listen to a video at regular speed, stay engaged with conversations that are happening. without my mind starting to wander or kind of zoning out or thinking about something ridiculous. This is a really big deal. So how do we start to fix our attention spans? And this is a massive conversation to be having with our children, right? Children's TV now is set at such a quick pace to keep their little minds going because their attention spans are so small. Even you put on like old school cartoons, and I see it even with my 7-year-old who is hyperactive anyways, but I put on old cartoons and you watch her brain try to like slow down and stay engaged, and you can almost like physically see it happening. And so those are, big conversations we could have over there with kids, the screen time that they have, what they have access to. I mean, those are huge, huge, huge conversations that, again, we could have if you're interested in, because they are very important. How do we fix our attention spans? Because if we're struggling now, what are our minds going to be like 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, next year? So here's some things I've been doing. I'm not saying this is an all exhaustive list. I'm just chatting. We're just hanging out in the garden. I don't have notes. I don't have, this was something I was thinking about this morning while I was making my coffee. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down, chat with some friends. Leave me comments. Let me know. What do you think? What do you do? What am I missing? I've been listening to some different videos on the topic, reading some different articles, even just books I was reading on our trip that weren't specifically about this topic, but kind of, like things that they were saying made me think about this topic and go, I could see how that could connect. Here's some things I want to start doing to help restore my ability to focus, my attention span, to cure my brain rot, right? Whatever term you want to give it. That's why I'm doing this today. I want to get outside every morning. I used to be really good about this. My husband and I used to wake up every morning and go out and walk, right? Like we did all these different things, and it literally is life-changing. I mean, you could give up the need for coffee and energy drinks if you just went outside and walked every morning, genuinely. That gets you up and gets you going like nothing else. The mental clarity, focus, right? All of those things, we sit too much. We just, as a culture, as a people, God made our bodies to need movement. And we live in a world now, like we're a couple steps away from the movie WALL-E, where we just float around in chairs all day. We don't move enough. And so getting out in the morning, it started really in like winter time, the weather's bad, I got in the habit of just going into my office and just getting to work. So I'm waking up, going into an office, sitting and staring at a screen, right? The worst combination we could possibly have. And so I think if I'm going to start fixing my brain rot, I don't want to just stay in the house. I love my house. I'm thankful for my house. But unless the weather is literally dumping buckets or something, and trust me, we have plans to hopefully this summer put a little pergola out here or something so I can come outside even if it's raining. I want to get outside. You and I could do that, right? We could take 15 minutes. If it means you wake up 15 minutes earlier, we could spend 15 minutes, bare minimum, just coming outside. And every time I do this, I go, man, why don't I do this more? Because I love it so much. 15 minutes, come outside and just be. Spend time in prayer. Maybe you get a little bit of Bible reading in. Maybe you have a book you want to read. Maybe you're just sitting silently. You're just being. Rest, reflect, listen to the birds, hear the little bits of raindrops still falling through the trees, right? It's beautiful. Notice what things are blooming. I'm noticing here as I'm sitting here that I had a bunch of roses that had died while we were gone on vacation because it was full of blooms when we left. And then of course those have died off. Already I see new buds popping out through all of it. I mean, it's just, life is beautiful. God's natural order. It's a miracle. Sit outside and observe it. I think we need to put away our phones or devices. What if we challenged ourselves to the first hour, 1 hour, the first hour of when I wake up, right? For me, I wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face off, get dressed, right? Make a cup of coffee, come sit outside. The first hour, what if we challenge ourselves to do no devices? That means I'm not going to check my phone the moment my eyeballs open. I think I'm going to move I have a phone stand that I charge like my watch, my phone on. It lives in my bedroom, not next to my bed. It's over on like a little side table, but it lives in my bedroom. I think I'm going to move it today and I'm going to put it in my office. So like all the things are like in one room with a door that I shut. Don't go to your phone first thing in the morning. Don't flip on the TV first thing in the morning. Heck, don't pull up YouTube first thing in the morning. Because I think a lot of times we have the best of intentions for why we're doing the thing, right? Is everybody okay? Is everything, fine? Is there anything, maybe it's lovely music you want to put on or whatever. But I think what happens is because we don't have an attention span, because we've got TikTok brain rot, we click on something else, right? We get engaged in this. Our brains just start getting like inundated with all of this stuff. Everything happening in the world, right? This problem over here, this catastrophe here. And that just like sets the tone and the pace for the rest of our day and really just messes it all up. So what if we said, okay, 1 hour, no devices. Just let my brain have 1 hour. At least 15 minutes of that hour is going to be just me outside. Maybe I'll go for a walk, right? We can walk for 15 minutes. Heck, you could just walk in circles around your yard for 15 minutes. Maybe I'm just sitting here. I'm listening to the birds. I'm looking at, the plant life around me. Maybe I notice a little squirrel, right? My chicken's over there wishing she could come in here, but I kicked her out. She's not supposed to be up here. So my chicken's just staring at me through the gate. Tony's over there just, hey, what you got going on? Observe, rest. Let your brain have the first hour without all the noise of all the things. Because that is how I feel, our brains feel when we switch them on in the morning and then we just start flooding them. Let's try to read a book. And I have a hard time because I love listening to audiobooks and I think there's nothing wrong with that. But it is amazing when we have gotten used to videos, audiobooks, all of these things, which I think are wonderful. The attention and focus one needs to read a book, it's hard. It is really hard. And so I think those are things that like every morning, making these little changes and adjustments. 1 hour, no screens of any sort, right? 15 minutes minimum outside. Maybe you start with 15 minutes. Maybe that grows to 30, 45. Maybe you do a full hour outside. I mean, I'm all for it. Bring your Bible outside and just read. If you've never read your Bible before, especially cover to cover, that's why we have our membership group. That's why we do different studies, because we're in there and we are reading. That's a key piece in everything that we do. We just finished our Revival Begins at Home. We're getting ready to start Biblical Womanhood. Again, ask questions if you're curious about those, because that's one thing we do. Maybe you don't know where to start. Open up. Read a psalm each day. Spend some time in Proverbs. Read a gospel. Morning, buddy.
There you are.
Glad you slept well. Love you, buddy. What if we start changing our mornings? And what if little changes to our mornings can then impact the trajectory of our entire day? Read a gospel. Read an epistle. Read a psalm. Do you have a book that you've really wanted to get into and you just, for some reason, can't? Maybe pop by the library today and look around and see if there's something that sparks your interest. And I'm curious to see, when you do that, actually sitting down reading a book, actually got your Bible open, actually just sitting and trying to observe the natural world around you, even if it's just your backyard or a balcony in the middle of the city, right? Like, then you have the best game, because you get to play Where's Waldo? You get to play Where Is There Some Nature to Observe, right? That's really going to help you hone in. When you do this, I want you to think about this. Is it a bit of a struggle? How does it make you feel? Are you craving more of it? Because I was sitting in a beautiful hotel room with a balcony, big sliding glass door open, just listening to the ocean. It was wonderful. Nothing is my job to clean. Nothing is my job to do, right? Like, there's something so nice as a mom, I think, about being in a hotel. This is why we don't stay at Airbnbs. I think Airbnbs are so overpriced. And the thought of having to be the one to make sure everything is like clean and done and taken care of. Not that I don't clean up after myself, because I absolutely clean up after myself. We make our bed at the hotel, okay? So like, I keep it clean and tidy. I don't think we need to be rude and just make a mess. But knowing that it is not my job to make sure all the things are done, such a weight. So I'm there, beautiful, sitting there, ocean. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna do it. My mind starts wandering. And I'm like, but this is fantastic. Why can't I focus? This is lovely. I need more of this. Imagine how much this could impact every single day if I started my morning sitting. Influx of nature, right? Sunshine, fresh air. No TV, no screens, no YouTube, no news, no. Pick up a book. And watching my mind try to keep it honed in, it was difficult. But doing that every day, it got a little bit easier. And I was like, wow, this is what happens when we take the power back and say, I don't want to let this destroy my brain, because that's what it's doing. Instead of letting it be a thing that's controlling us, what if we put it back to just being a tool, a helpful something? Because sure, I'm still gonna access YouTube. I hope so. It's what I do for a living, right? I'm still gonna access YouTube. I'm gonna make phone calls. I'm gonna FaceTime with my mom. I'm gonna read stuff, right? I'm still going to, but how do I make it be a tool versus brain rot, where I can't live without it? It's the first thing I grab. I have it on silent, but I still think I'm hearing a ding, right? How can I start changing that? Well, I think that for starters, in our little chat we've had here, as I'm about halfway through my cup of coffee, get outside every morning. Even 15 minutes. You can do it. I can do it. We're sitting here. We've been here for probably over 15 minutes. 15 minutes outside. Come join me in the garden. Even if it's from afar, we'll be there together in spirit. Come join me outside. Observe. Pray. Just think your own thoughts. No music play, right? Nothing else artificial coming. Just be. Even when it's not perfect outside, right? This morning's lovely, but not every day feels lovely. Get outside. If you can do it, it's not some sort of unsafe situation where got hurricane coming through and you're sitting outside in it, right? Okay, don't do that. Get outside 15 minutes. The first hour of your day, say no to screens. Say no to any of the incoming. Read a book. Let me know what book you're reading, because I read my books while I was there and I'm like, man, I need a new book. So let me know what book you're reading. Let's see if we can start little simple things in the morning. Because I think just these 3 things, honestly, just any of them individually, but then you add them all up together, and I feel like that's going to be huge. I think that can start to have a major impact on our minds, which is going to have a massive impact on now the rest of my day. When my kiddos come out, like my son just did, he was like, whoa, where are you? What are you doing? I went straight to the office. You weren't there. I saw the coffee was already made. What's going on? And I said, yeah, I'm sitting outside. I'm going to do this. I just come out and join me. He's going to wait for me to finish filming this, but I'm like, come out and join me. As the kiddos start waking up, we'll tell them, hey, I'm out here. Come join me. I used to do this. I would sit out here, and then as the kids would wake up, they'd all kind of fill around the table here, and we'd all sit out here and enjoy. And then once everybody was up, it was like, okay, let's go start our day. Usually we'd kind of start our homeschool right out here. So much nicer than just heading straight to the office, getting straight to work, just doing the things we normally do. Let's heal our minds. Let's be those people who say, you know what? I think it's crazy that these little boxes dictate our life. I don't want to have the news screaming at me 24/7. No, thank you. Like, what does that do to your whole attitude and outlook of life? How you feel about things when it's just negativity screaming at you 24/7? How much time do you spend outdoors? Do you sit too much? When was the last time you went for a walk? These are really small, simple things that can truly transform our lives. And so, it was really nice to get to chat with you. Genuinely. I really appreciate having a place where we can come and we can just connect, but connect about real stuff and not just nonsense things. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to enjoy my garden. The breeze is blowing a little bit so I can hear raindrops kind of falling through the trees. This is nice. Let me know what book you're reading or that you want to be reading. So that way we can all get some good ideas down there in the comments section. Yep. I think a change to our morning is what we all need to really start fixing our attention spans and just honestly having better days. So this is where I'll be. I'm not going to leave you another video up here today because I want this one to really sink in. And if you want more videos along these lines that are really going to, I don't know, be a friend that you can go to just have a real conversation, because that's what I want this to be. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with someone that could use it. Because again, I don't know how many of you who know this, I was just learning this a little bit ago. The more that you interact with videos, by liking, by commenting, make sure you subscribe, right? By sharing, that tells the system that these are the things you do want to see more of. Because obviously when we get on YouTube, there's a whole page screaming for our attention, right? Of all kinds of crazy stuff. If you want to be seeing more real things like this, interact with it, share it, right? Comment below. Let me know what book you want to read because I want some good book ideas. But do that and it will help these things to pop up more. Let this be your cue to go take the next 15 minutes sitting outside, soaking up whatever it is that the Lord has going on outside in His creation. Find something natural that you can focus on. I just noticed I've got a little spider climbing on this plant here right behind the phone. It's fascinating. He's got his whole little life going on right there. And instead of letting my brain rot away on this device, I'm going to find something else to pay attention to. Maybe I'll stroll around, go for a little walk. Maybe I'll go in and grab a book. But I want to spend this time, at least 15 minutes. I'm going to take my stuff away so I am not on a device first hour of my day. And I want to see what types of changes this really starts to make to my mind. Because our mind is a powerful, powerful thing. And I think we've gone for far too long feeding it junk. So I love you all. Thanks for joining me today in the garden. Truly, I'm glad you were here. I'm glad we could connect. And I'm going to see you in whatever I see you in next, because you just subscribed and turned on your bells and liked and left me a comment. You're going to share this video now, and then stuff's going to start popping up. We're going to start having more real and encouraging conversations. Bye, friend.